Hey YouTube, Ed here with Jack of All Trades, and welcome back to another video. Hope your day is going well. So a while back I did a video on 8 budget bipods that I had purchased primarily on Amazon, and I did a review on them and I let you know which ones I thought were the best and which ones I thought were garbage. Well, apparently I missed one. One of my viewers, William Turner, told me about this bipod here by a company named Feyachi. It's got a little bit of a different mounting system, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at this bipod today, and we're going to add it to the list of budget bipods. So stay tuned. Let's talk about this bipod. And welcome back. So before we get this video started and we start talking about this bipod, let's just do a really big shout out to a new subscriber, Irish Knacker. He has recently subscribed to my channel, and he also said he liked my hat. So here it is for you, my friend. Okay, let's get into talking about this bipod. Now, this bipod came from a company called Feyachi. I got it on Amazon, and it was under $30. Falls right into the realm of the budget bipods that I did the video on last time. So let's talk about this bipod really quick. All right, so like I said, a viewer named William Turner, at least that's his handle on YouTube, told me about this bipod on Amazon, and I immediately went out that day and I got this thing purchased and I brought it in. And so let's just quickly do a unbox. It's just like all of the other budget bipods I bought on Amazon. Very simple packaging, some very basic instructions, very basic packaging, although this one does have a Ziploc bag around it. Some of the others weren't Ziplocked. Irrelevant. Put that aside. So what makes this bipod any different than the other bipods that I reviewed? It still has springs. It still has legs. The biggest thing you'll notice right here, it's an M-lok mount. This bolts or attaches directly to the bottom of your handguard if you have M-lok slots. No Picatinny rail to install, nothing. Goes right into your M-lok slots, and that's how you mount this bipod. So that's what intrigued me about this bipod the most, was the fact that it was a direct mount to M-loks. Now, what does that mean? That means that this is not a quick detach, not by any way, shape, or form. But if you have a platform like this rifle right here, which is my coyote rifle, or is going to be my coyote rifle this year because I just built that. It's my 20-inch Marksman by KM Tactical. This is pretty much permanently mounted unless you have tools with you and you want to unmount the bipod. But in this particular platform, it'll be perfect because I've always got a bipod attached to my coyote rifle, because 9 times out of 10, I'm hunting coyotes in the prone because I get a much more stable base and platform, and I'm a far more accurate shooter in the prone position. So that is why this bipod intrigued me so much, is because my coyote rifle is always going to have a bipod on it anyway. So let's go ahead and let's talk about this bipod a little further in depth. Now, like I said, it's made by a company called Feyachi, or Feyachi. I don't know anything about the company. Kind of sounds Italian. Maybe it comes from Italy. I can't find anything anywhere that says made in Italy or made in, it's made in China. So it is a made in China bipod. It's just got an Italian name, apparently. It works very similar on the premise as like your basic Harris bipod. It's got spring-loaded legs, very similar to the Caldwell bipod that I reviewed in my last video. So it's just a spring-loaded leg. It's very, very simple. Again, it's got buttons on the end of the bipod, which has spring-loaded legs, and it pops the legs out. So obviously, if the bipod is mounted to your rifle and you push it down, it spring loads it all the way down, and you got a full 9 inches of extension on your bipod. So this is a 6 to 9 inch. Looks like it's got a very nice wide stable base. It does have good rubber feet with some texture and grip on it. These are not hard rubber, and they feel like they're going to give me some pretty good grip on multiple different surfaces. So Not a whole lot of difference here between this bipod and the Caldwell, other than the fact that this one is an M-lok mount. Now, I have to assume there are other companies out there that have an M-lok mounting system. This one was just very, very reasonable and came in under $30, so it falls right into that budget bipod line. Now, let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and get this attached to this particular rifle, and let's just see how it attaches up. So according to the rules of YouTube, I'm not allowed to show you how to mount this because they consider it gunsmithing and whatnot. But just know, if you know how to put on an M-lok accessory of any type, this goes on very, very easily. Literally only took me like 5 minutes. I removed my Picatinny rail that I had added to the bottom of the rifle, and I went ahead and just installed the bipod, and it installs up and out of the way just like it's supposed to. Deploys very nice, mounts very, very easy. Takes a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, and if you do not have a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench, they do give you one in the package. Another very nice thing that they do in the package is they give you some extra hardware. So you've actually got extra M-lok mounting hardware in the package, just in case you strip it, or maybe you do remove it in the field and you lose a part, you have one here. So that's kind of a nice thing that they give you some extra hardware, something they certainly wouldn't have to do, but they did. So looking at the bipod initially, the bipod is actually really solidly mounted on the rifle. I really like this mounting style. There's no Picatinny rail that I have to worry about coming loose. There's no quick detach that has the possibility of coming loose, and this is just permanently mounted then to my rifle. Really like the construction of it. This thing is really well built. For a $30 bipod, you're really not going to beat this. Now, understand, if you don't have an M-lok slot style handguard on your rifle, i.e. in an AR or in like my my Citadel Tracker 22, which has M-lok slots on it, you're not going to be able to mount this. You have to have a M-lok handguard, obviously, to get this done. Very, very nicely built, very, very solid. Really like the deploy, the way that the bipod legs do deploy. Unlike the Caldwell, this bipod does not have the locking screws on it, so you cannot lock it in between detents. So you are confined to the limitations of where the detents are. But all in all, this bipod is extremely solid. There is zero wiggle. All the wiggle that you're seeing is actually in the feet themselves, in the rubber feet. Really, so far, very, very impressed with the construction of the bipod itself. So now that we've got the bipod installed, we have nothing more to do other than to take it to the range, fire a few shots, see how it holds up, see if it loosens up. I'll fire a few rounds out of it, make sure the bipod stays tight, make sure that it stays where it's supposed to, and check the rigidness of it. Now, another thing you need to know about this bipod is it does not have tilt and it does not have traverse on it. It is just solidly mounted to the rifle. So you have just a very basic 2 points of contact. You have no tiltability or no traversability. So you are going to have to either make adjustments with the legs within the confines of those detents, or you're going to have to make adjustments in the surface that you're using it. So if you're like on the ground, you might have to dig one leg in just a little bit and get yourself set up. If you're like, for this situation, I'm going to use this to hunt coyotes. If a coyote comes out in a different area, I'm not going to have the ability to traverse. I'm going to have to pick the gun up and move it a little bit. So there are gives and takes to it, but I have never really been a fan of tilt or traverse on my bipods. I really do prefer it to be a rigid, stable platform. That's just me. That's personal, but everybody's got their own opinions. So with that, let's go ahead and get this thing packaged up. Let's take it out to the range. Let's do some shooting off the bench with it. Let's do some shooting in the prone position with it, and let's see how it stacks up and see if I still like it once we get it into a range situation. Okay, so we're on the range, and we're going to test out the Feyachi M-lok rail-mounted bipod. So I've got this mounted up to my K&M Tactical 20-inch Marksman 5.56. Like I said, I'm going to relegate this to being my primary coyote rifle, since now that I know it shoots. So we're going to try this bipod out. We're going to fire a few shots. We're going to see if it loosens up, how stable it is, and we're just going to try the overall performance. I'm going to shoot some from the prone, I'll shoot some from the bench, and we'll give this thing a whirl. All right, so let's get on some ears. All right, first shots. It doesn't feel like it's loosened up any. Weapon is clear. It's nice and tight. Hasn't loosened up at all. Let's give it a few more shots here, see what it does. I'm really liking this bipod. It's nice and solid. It's nice and stable. It's not wiggling. It loads up. I can put a really good load up on it, and it doesn't seem like it's got any signs of disliking the load up. So far, I'm really liking this bipod. Let's try a few shots from the prone position. All right, let's see. Let's try a few shots from the prone position. So it feels nice and solid. As good as the rubber feet can be, the load up's not half bad. So on a prone position on the flat ground, I could use about another 2 inches of height, but that's not a fault of the bipod. That's just the length of it. But as far as the operation of the bipod, I'm really liking it. I like the fact that it mounts directly to it. It's nice and solid. It's nice and rigid. I see no issues with this. So, yeah, very happy with it so far. Just love the smell of that. All right, so I shot a couple hundred rounds today. This bipod is showing no signs of loosening up. It is tight, it is solid, it is stable. I tell you what, for under $30, If you've got M-lok slots on the handguard of your rifle, this is going to be a hard one to beat. Now just keep in mind, this is nothing frilly or fancy. There is no tilt, there's no traverse, there's nothing fancy about this bipod. It is meat and potatoes bipod, but it is permanently affixed with M-lok slots and M-lok attachments. And yeah, I'm really liking it. I think I'm really going to enjoy the fact that I've got this on my coyote rifle for coyote hunting this fall. So to wrap up, for $30, is this a good bipod? Absolutely. I'll probably buy another one, to be honest with you. I love the fact that it's just relegated to this one rifle. It's not loosening up. It's not showing any signs of loosening up. I might get one. I might see if they've got one that's got some longer legs, but we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I'm really impressed with it. And for under $30, you'd be hard pressed to find a better value. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Now, if you're liking this kind of content and you're liking this channel and what I'm putting out here, you'd be really doing me a solid by hitting the like and subscribe button down below. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you get notified of upcoming videos. And hit me with those comments, folks. I love the comments, and I answer as many as I possibly can. With that, this is Ed from Jack of All Trades. As always, thank you for stopping by, and we will see you on the next video.